that earning more would solve all my problems. But when I quadrupled my income and still felt the same, I realized money wasn't the problem. Hey, I'm Katherine, founder of Imperfect Budget, and I help women forget the spreadsheets and build simple, flexible systems for their money that are actually built for their lives. When I was in my 20s, I lived abroad for 4 years in Cuenca, Ecuador. I was making pennies teaching English, and financial anxiety constantly buzzed in the back of my head telling me that I didn't have enough. I even tried making a budget, but my first instinct was to cut out all social spending, which wasn't that much anyways, in order to save more, which didn't really help me save more and just made me feel guilty for going out and having fun with friends. I thought that once I had a higher salary, I would feel good with money. But fast forward 4 years, I moved back to the United States, brought my husband with me, got my first 9-to-5, and those feelings didn't go away. I was making 4 times as much money as I had ever made in my life. I had a 401k match, healthcare, paid time off, but everything still felt like a guessing game. Am I saving enough? Will I have enough to pay for groceries? There was so much uncertainty in my finances that it made me nervous to spend, even if it was on something small. That's when I finally realized that my money wasn't the problem. The way I handled my money was. The issue was I had read finance books. I had watched YouTube videos. I had tried to organize my finances in the past, and it hadn't worked. All of the experts said the first step was to create a budget, but I just failed every time because I couldn't stick to it. I knew I needed structure, but I also needed flexibility. And more than anything, I needed it to be simple and straightforward. That is how I developed my 3-step plan. If you want to follow along while I talk this through, you can get the guide in the caption below. It has more detailed descriptions and exercises to go along with each step. I even made a checklist so you can track your progress. If you want to download it for free, check the caption. First, I needed to know that my basic necessities were covered. No more wondering if I was going to run out of money for groceries. I wrote down all of my monthly expenses, and fortunately, my salary was enough to cover them all. Then I knew I needed to get more specific about my savings goals. In the past, my goal was to save more, which obviously didn't get me anywhere. No one wants to save money if they don't actually know what it's for. My first goal was an emergency fund. One of the deepest roots of my financial anxiety is not being able to pay for an emergency. Having an emergency fund gave me a sense of security and peace with my finances that I had never felt before. My second goal was a travel fund because traveling is incredibly important to me. With a dedicated travel fund, I could plan amazing trips without having to worry that I was taking away from my necessities. Finally, my favorite step, spend. Like I said earlier, spending was something that I really struggled with in the past. It made me feel anxious or guilty or just nervous, but now I love to spend. Step 1 takes care of my basic necessities, so I never have to worry about missing a car payment or running out of money for groceries. Step 2 takes care of my savings, so I know that I have money set aside specifically for emergencies and for the pleasure of doing things I love, like traveling. So, step 3 is spend your money and have fun doing it. Even if you only have $50 left by the time you get to step 3, you get to spend that money on anything you want. And that, my friends, is freedom. When I developed this system, I finally felt in control of my money. And I actually enjoyed spending it for the first time in my life. I finally felt free to spend money on myself, and I realized money can make you happy. Like, really happy, if you have the right systems in place. I learned that earning more money doesn't make you feel more secure. It doesn't make you feel less anxious, and it doesn't make you any happier. Happiness comes from knowing you can pay your bills, your savings are growing, and from spending money on things that you truly enjoy. That is when money finally feels good. So if you've been feeling guilty about spending money, anxious that you're not earning enough, or worried that you're just bad with money, maybe you just don't have the right systems in place yet. Know your necessities. Set your savings goals. and spend your money on things that bring you joy. Then you can finally start using money to build a life that you love living. If you like this video, remember to give it a thumbs up and check out this video in the corner, right here.